So the big question, will Rhode Island adhere to the new CDC guidance regarding masks? Well, it may be too soon to tell.
Governor Dan McKee held his weekly press briefing an hour before the CDC made the announcement. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni was there and joins us now with what McKee had to say. Anita?
Well, Kim and Shannon, Governor McKee would not say at his briefing whether or not the state will also recommend masks for fully vaccinated people because he wanted to wait to review the new guidance with the Department of Health. His office says that decision will likely come tomorrow.
New data from the Department of Health shows Rhode Island has substantial transmission of coronavirus. That's a category that falls into the new recommendation from the CDC when it comes to masks for fully vaccinated people. But Governor Dan McKee pointing to the state's high vaccination rates and low hospitalizations as to why he isn't overly concerned.
Data that I'm seeing is telling us that we are in good shape.
In the past, Rhode Island has adhered to CDC guidance. The governor saying Monday he planned to do so when it comes to schools. But he did not say what the state's plans were at Tuesday's weekly briefing when it comes to CDC's most recent recommendations.
We don't really have the authority to mandate into the schools masking. We will give strong recommendations based on how we analyze the CDC guidance.
Despite the rise in cases, McKee says he is not planning on mandating the vaccine for government workers like California and New York City have done.
I think that if we're able to achieve what we've been able to achieve up to this date without mandates, I'm never saying never.
Other vaccine mandates are in the healthcare industry. Rhode Island's second largest hospital group, Care New England, announced it will require staff to be fully vaccinated, as did Westerly Hospital.
And within the last 15 minutes, we also found out that Lifespan is also going to be mandating vaccines for their employees. Now, the increase in cases is mostly among the unvaccinated, according to the governor. He says 18 out of 22 recently hospitalized people did not have their shot. McKee using that as a data point as to why you should get the vaccine. I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.
Also breaking, most of Rhode Island's hospitals now say they will require their staff to be vaccinated.
In the meantime, the health department says they are reviewing the CDC guidance on masks, while the latest data shows Rhode Island is in the substantial transmission category.
12 News reporter Anita Buffoni continues our team coverage with what hospitals are saying and what Governor Dan McKee had to say prior to the CDC's announcement. Anita?
Well, Shannon and Kim, even though Rhode Island is seeing a rise in new COVID-19 cases, according to recent data, Governor Dan McKee would not yet commit to adhering to the new CDC guidance. He will want to wait to make that call until he reviewed the changes with the Department of Health.
It's too soon to tell whether Rhode Island will adopt the new CDC mask recommendations for fully vaccinated people. Despite Rhode Island having substantial transmission of the virus, according to the Department of Health, Governor Dan McKee isn't overly concerned, factoring in low hospitalizations and high vaccination rates. Before the CDC announcement, McKee said Rhode Island is in good shape.
Our data does not show a reason to pull an alarm without a fire.
While the state considers their move, Governor McKee says in terms of masking in schools, they will make a strong recommendation to school districts. There will not be a statewide mandate.
Based on the General Assembly's actions, we don't really have the authority to mandate into the schools masking.
California and New York City have mandated government workers get the COVID vaccine, but Governor McKee is not taking that route.
But we never wanted to be in a position where we were taking 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards, unless there was a real reason to do that. I don't see that reason right now based on the data that I've seen.
Who is mandating vaccines for their staff is Rhode Island's largest hospital groups, including Lifespan, Care New England, and Westerly Hospital.
Now, Governor McKee's office tells me he will likely make an announcement on if Rhode Island will adopt the new CDC recommendations tomorrow. Live in studio, I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.